Dr. Jackie, say whatever you need to say, and your girls can come out to defend you. But at the end of the day, this was your event with your name on it, and you should have made sure that everything was done to perfection as best as you could. You are responsible. The buck stops with you. Remember that. Let's talk about it.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
When they say that Atlanta is not a real place, this MED Gala is the perfect example of that. Now, I have a lot of respect for Dr. Jackie and a lot of the women on this show. I've enjoyed Married to Medicine from the first episode. I love it. This right here was ghetto. Tacky, everything that went wrong showed up. I am disgusted watching this episode of the MED Gala. For this to be a conversation about the things that Black women experience while they're pregnant and the things that they have to combat with doctors and also the things that they have with their own health, for this to be a conversation, a gala that is supposed to be supporting a mission, this episode was tacky. And it was embarrassing. For this to be called the Mean Girl Gala, honestly, if this was an organization that I was over and that I was receiving a check from, I wouldn't have wanted my name anywhere near it. And this honestly is a disservice to all of the good things that y'all have done in the past and how y'all don't know how to separate real stuff from mess. There was no need for this to be a messy episode. There was no need to try to have Phaedra as the co-chair. The moment Dr. Jackie saw that Phaedra was not responding to text messages and all of that, Dr. Jackie should have put on her good wig and said, hey, hear ye. I am going to be in charge. I'm going to hire somebody to run the stuff and make sure everything is done. I've watched Heavenly's live stream and tried to figure out what went wrong. And Heavenly saying that they spent close to $30,000 on this event space and everything to only raise $50,000. And to be short, it speaks to, again, how Atlanta is not a real place. How are y'all walking around on each and every episode on designer this, designer that? Y'all have folks gifting Rolls Royces on these episodes, folks buying Birkin bags. We're seeing y'all talk about money, y'all buying all of these things. But y'all are not in community with folks who can't give $5,000, $6,000 towards a good charity. Say what you want to say that, oh, doctors don't like to come out their purses, all of that. The moment that Phaedra was unable to get to the limit that she said, Jackie and the rest of y'all should have came out y'all purses and provided that. For Heavenly to get on the live stream and say that the check was not good, meaning that the money that they raised hasn't went to that man yet, or whatever she's trying to say, Jackie should have came out of her purse and been responsible for the rest of that money and just said, hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna count this towards the loss. I'm not understanding for y'all to be as coined up and bossed up as y'all say y'all are, and yet y'all struggle. For you to say this is something that you're doing for the community, this is something that y'all take serious. I didn't see it in this episode. I didn't see it in this episode at all. For y'all to have a auction, y'all are saying y'all are auctioning off things to bring in money. I don't know what it is, and I'm trying to say maybe it has something to do with production or whatever, but if production got in the way to have this as a real gala where y'all could not have other sponsors like UPS or Sky Vodka or whoever, like all of these other big companies, that y'all couldn't go out and get some grants or something or some donation money, y'all don't know what y'all doing. And maybe y'all don't need to do this. For this to be the second year, I expected for the first year, but the second year, this was tragic, to be honest. I'm not understanding if you are out here auctioning off a trip to Morocco without airfare, it should have never been brought up. If you're going to say, hey, this is a cooking with quad worth $4,000, where is the PowerPoint presentation? Where is the presentation of what the things that are going to get? It looks like y'all did this last night. Y'all turned this in at 11:59 and it showed up in this episode and it looked tacky. Say what y'all want to say. It was tacky. It just looked embarrassing for y'all to get up here and talk all this mess. And, oh, cooking with choir, I'm going to cook for the people, $4,000. I'm going to tell y'all what the issue is. Y'all are steady inviting folks to these events that are fans of the show and nothing else. These are people who want to be on the TV show. That's all. I've been to enough of these events to realize that Atlanta is not a real place. And I'm so glad I found out early, because all these people that y'all see on TV, they are not coined up. When it comes to auctions, this is the time where people who have money come out and flaunt their wealth. This is the time for you to show out. It does not matter if it's for a good cause or even you just want to flaunt how much money you can spend on something that isn't probably worth as much as you're paying for it, but you want to show up and show out that you got the coin. This was for charity. The fact that y'all had folks bidding $600, $1,000 was pitiful. It was pitiful. I've seen better mutual aid requests and funding on Twitter. And it goes to show you how, honestly, the folks who are keeping poor people afloat are other poor folks. It is other poor folks out here giving money that they don't have to help somebody else out. Y'all are not out here doing as much as y'all say y'all are. $25,000, yes, I feel like that's a decent amount of money to give to an organization or whatever. I understand what y'all are trying to do. But if y'all are being serious about this thing, y'all would have came out and got to it. If you're saying we're doing a cooking with Quar or a date with Phaedra, where is the PowerPoint presentation of all the things? You should have had that. Y'all don't have a guest list of folks who have the coins because y'all are so busy trying to invite folks who want to be on camera. That's what it's giving. That's why I stopped going to these events years ago, because it gave all of that. You will see these folks talk about coins, and then when it comes to producing something that they are in charge of, they are cheap with it. They do not have the money to throw these events. Jackie, you should have reached out to event spaces in Atlanta that would have given you the event space out of charity, where they are writing it off as a tax deduction. When it comes to charities and nonprofits, they have a form where they can receive gifts from organizations or businesses, and it's a tax deduction to them. They get to write that off. Hey, we gave Dr. Jackie in the MED Gala event space for $10,000. That's how much it was worth. When it gets to the end of the year, people who have higher incomes make donations and do things to decrease their taxes. That's what they do. So they can write it off when it's time to do their taxes for that year. I am not understanding how you all could not find any businesses who couldn't have donated this $30,000 that y'all have spent for this event. If you have spent $30,000 to throw this event and you only brung in $40,000, that means that y'all only brung in 15. That's probably why Bravo had 15, because you are in the negative. If that's the case, then y'all should have just gave $30,000 to that person and called it a day. So when Heavily is talking about how Phaedra told that man, just go along with it for the show, it's just for TV. When it came to that $4,000 he was donating for the date, all of this is TV. This is what TV is. Y'all are all in TV. I'm not understanding, especially for somebody who was always talking about they keep up the mess for the show. So all of this is TV. This whole event was a waste of time. The moment Dr. Jackie saw that Phaedra was not doing the work that she needed to do, she should have leaned on the woman that she hired to make sure everything was good. The moment Dr. Jackie realized it, but y'all did it for the show, because I'm hoping that Dr. Jackie did it for the show, because if you put your name on something for this, you let your name be burnt out like this, I'm hoping that you did it for the show, because I'm hoping Dr. Jackie is smart enough to not put her brand, expose her brand to something like this. This was tacky. If I was Dr. Jackie and this was my event and I'm throwing, I would have said, hey, I am matching dollar for dollar up to $25,000. For every dollar that is donated, I'm matching my dollar up to $25,000. So when it comes to the end of the night, we already have $25,000 already. I would just say, hey, this is how much money we got. I would have just already had that in the bank. That's how you do it. And let me say this, because I find it funny watching Heavily try to eat Phaedra up and call her all of these things. Girl, all of y'all are doing shady stuff to make money. Heavenly, your husband has a quote unquote pain clinic. Let's be completely honest what that is. A pain clinic ain't nothing but ambulance chasing. That's why you said out your own mouth that with your husband having a pain clinic, he has a lot of attorneys that he's cool with, because that's what that is. So let's talk about it, because there is a history around pain care clinics and pain management clinics and Medicaid fraud and insurance fraud. So I'm not saying all of the pain clinics are the same, but there is a shady history of these type of clinics, and there's a lot of money involved. So for those who do not know what a pain management clinic is, or a pain clinic specializes in treatment of pain. If you have a pain problem or anything from an accident or injury, you will go and get treatment, whether it's short-term or long-term. Now, what happens sometimes is the clinic have connections to attorneys, and the attorneys will send their patients to these pain clinics, and these clinics will write false documents about the pain that the client is experiencing, so it can be used to win a case. Sometimes these people will falsify documents. There was a case in California where a pain clinic had to settle almost $20 million to the U.S. government because of Medicare fraud. It is some shady stuff that happens in a lot of these practices. So for Dr. Heavenly to say in her live stream that her husband knows a lot of attorneys through the pain clinic, you put two and two together and you tell me what you come up with. But it doesn't surprise me, because Dr. Heavenly University exists as well. Pay attention to the man behind the curtain, because everything y'all see is for show. Say what you want to say about Phaedra, but Phaedra is known outside of Atlanta, Georgia, which is why she was on Traders, which is why she was on the Dancing with the Stars. Phaedra is known outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And I think that's what is getting to Heavenly and some of the other women on the show, because Phaedra is, for the most part, when it comes to reality TV, she is reality TV gold. I love Married to Medicine. And honestly, I would rank Married to Medicine higher than Real Housewives of Atlanta for consistency. Consistent seasons being good. They have not had a terrible season compared to Real Housewives of Atlanta, where they have had a couple of seasons where it's just like, y'all could have just left this in the production. We could have just left without that. But Married to Medicine have real friendships and real things. And I feel like that's the issue that they had with Quad. And you heard when Simone said you only come around when it is time for an event, meaning you only come around, that's TV terms for you only come around when it's time to film. We saw that even when she was on Sister Circle or Sister, whatever show it was, and when that got canceled. So we're seeing that. Love all the girls, but we're going to be honest. I just have to be, because I enjoy the show. And I feel like since not too many people are doing reviews on YouTube like they used to anymore, y'all been getting by. So when it comes to this MED Gala situation, the buck stops with Jackie. Dr. Jackie is the captain when it comes to the MED Gala. And the moment that ship started to go to the right or the left, she should have been on the stern and drifting it where it needs to go. She did not do that. So she should sink with the ship. I'm just saying. Your face is on it. You need to be held responsible. Drag Phaedra and say she didn't show up. She didn't do that. The people didn't show up. The man didn't have the coin. He reneged, whatever. At the end of the day, it is on Dr. Jackie. Dr. Jackie, being a grown woman who is established, should have said, hey, done with it.
Let's have dinner. Jackie! Ooh, that is not the Jackie.
Let's have dinner. Here go the coin. I ain't dealing with Phaedra no more. My mistake, move on. Let Heavenly take that and drag it as long as she need to have some more patrons on her Patreon or whatever. But girl, it's no shade. Jackie is responsible. And yeah, it does look tacky that we didn't see the women donate the money. Like, what happened? Like, I ain't gonna hold you. I love you down, Toya, but let's have dinner. I'm not understanding how you are out here about to give birth to a Birkin bag and we ain't seeing you donate money or anything to this situation. We're seeing you be cheap once again. Y'all got to get it together. And to me, it is a reminder of Atlanta not being a real place. It is not. These folks do not have the coin that they pretend to have. And you see it in stuff like this. Stuff like this jumps, it sticks out like a sore thumb to me because I already know. And if you know what to look for, you will see, okay, they ain't really got the money that they pretend to have. Because again, when it comes to auctions, that is when wealthy folks spend money. It's not about folks being cheap. Say what you want to say. When it comes to that, if we're talking about things for the community, if you can't find folks who can donate, then don't throw the event. And it's no way in the hell I would have let Phaedra be the co-chair, let alone after I found out how she was not responding to text messages and still having her be a part of this. It was tacky. It was tacky. And again, it's on Jackie. It's on Jackie. So I don't know how long y'all gonna stretch this out with the money or whatever, but the moment that the stuff was short, Jackie should have reached out of her purse and grabbed some peppermints and whatever and some mints and got it together and said, hey, here go the coin. The fact that Heavenly said, that's a lot of money, Phaedra. I'm going to be completely honest. The way y'all talk about having coin, $40,000 is a lot of money to y'all. The way y'all talk about money, $40,000 is a lot of money to me. $40,000 will make a big difference to me. Just one swoop, just out like that. But the way y'all talk and the way y'all position yourself on this show consistently, and you say $40,000 is a lot of money, that's why Phaedra does not look at y'all as the same, because y'all don't have the coin. It's no shade on Housewives of Atlanta. When they do the elephant party or the Christmas present stuff, the money that was given to y'all for the donations to this, they was giving it as Christmas gifts and gag gifts. It's no shade. Love y'all down, but we got to be honest. Again, Dr. Jackie, the buck stops with you, and you should have steered the ship to where it needed to be because your face is on it. And the fact that this was a very serious thing and y'all made a mockery of it, I'm disappointed. Tell me what y'all thought about it if you watched this episode of Married to Medicine. If you didn't, go watch it and tell me your thoughts in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.